What's cracking, y'all? You are now watching Boo TV. Appreciate you for stopping in. Like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell, stay notified, and let's get into the topic for today. I'm a little bit late getting to this one, but because it's still an ongoing thing, here are my quick opinions and thoughts on the whole Jimmy Butler situation with the Miami Heat. First of all, here are the facts. Jimmy Butler is 35 years old. Jimmy Butler is a 13-year veteran. Jimmy Butler is on a 3-year, $146 million contract and is owed $52.4 million next year and will be an unrestricted free agent in 2026. It's a lot of money. It's a huge contract, especially for someone looking to re-up next year or get a new contract, which I assume is going to want a lot of money, but he's in his mid-30s. Got to keep that into context. Ever since Jimmy Buckets has expressed his opinion and his feelings and doesn't want to play with Miami anymore, has said that publicly, has met with Pat Riley, has not been shy about it. You can see it through his body language, and beside it came out of his own damn mouth. He does not want to play for the Miami Heat anymore. Shit, I lost my train of thought. I had something to say after all that. It'll come back. Anyway, we know Pat Riley. Pat Riley's not going to bend to the will of any player. Pat Riley's not going to let some player come in and take over his team and demand things and make Pat Riley make a move that Pat Riley doesn't want to make, or make a move that's not actually in the best interest of the team, but he just needs to get this guy out of here because he's being a gnat, he's being annoying, he's being a thorn under his foot. Pat Riley's not going to do that. Pat Riley's a boss. All right? Now, I've heard, over the last couple of weeks, I've heard all different angles. Pro Jimmy Butler, con Jimmy Butler. I've heard all the different angles and expressions from people, from analysts, and there have been some good takes, all in all, from both sides. From both sides. One of the more interesting ones I didn't think about is that some people were saying, well, you know, the type of system Pat Riley runs, he's going to maximize your practices, I guess, for this atmosphere of the NBA, and he's going to work your body out, and, you know, it's going to be a toll on your body to keep it in shape and keep it prepared. And then some people are like, well, Jimmy's 35 years old. You know, Jimmy doesn't want to put his body through that. He's trying to play as long as he can, so he needs more rest. I get it, but sorry, I'm cut from the old school cloth, baby. They used to practice every day. They used to grind every day. It wasn't just a Pat Riley thing. And a lot of players were fine. So I'm not. It's an interesting take. Might be valid, but how I see it, maybe I'm just stuck in my ways. But anyway, initially I was gonna come in here and start ragdolling Jimmy. And one of my takes was going to be, is Jimmy Butler really just a prima donna? Is he being a diva? This is what? The third time? At least 3 times? He's been kicking and screaming, voicing his displeasure for the team he's on. It happened in Minnesota. It happened in Philadelphia. And now it's happening with the Miami Heat. So I'm looking at this, I was like, well, I see a clear pattern here. Is this just what Jimmy Butler does? Because we looked at it back in the past, or I looked at it in the past, I was like, yeah, he's playing with a bunch of stupid kids on the Minnesota Timberwolves, got Karl Anthony Towns over there, no vision, no guidance, no leadership, busting their ass in practice. We all know about that story. And then obviously you get to Philadelphia and you got to deal with Joel Embiid, and now with this season, as news comes out about how Joel Embiid has been preparing, or lack thereof, to play or to be at appointments and be a leader, we know that he hasn't been that guy for some time now. You know, not setting the example. You know, things that we don't necessarily see off the basketball floor that the other players have to be subject to. So you're getting all that, you're like, yeah, I can see why Jimmy Butler wanted to get the hell up out of these organizations. So maybe two things can be true. Maybe, yeah, what he saw in Minnesota, what he saw in Philadelphia, I can't blame the guy. He had every reason to want to get the hell up out of there. Because this wasn't it if you're trying to win a championship or you're trying to be competitive. Maybe that still remains true. But now I'm also kind of looking at it like, I wonder. Anyway. But I'm not gonna double down on that. I'm not. Because it's still very possible that those organizations were just really, really bad, incompetent, and the players on that team were not willing to ride with Jimmy through the trenches and be as competitive and demand the most out of themselves like they should. And he saw that. But the point I really want to take at Jimmy Butler is this. Jimmy Butler, in my opinion, with the Miami Heat, has had they haven't won a championship, but he's had a good run thus far with Miami. They've made it to 2 NBA Finals with him being their first or second best player. Some people might say Bam, some people might say Jimmy, but you can at least say, at least in the postseason, Jimmy was probably that best player. And then in between, or around those finals appearances and other seasons, they've had some early playoff exits and they had some okay runs, but just fell short. Never had a super team, never was stacked with all these all-star players, a bunch of top 10 players, anything like that. And for what they were able to do, I say, hey, it's been a good run so far. But if he wants to leave Miami because he feels like they don't have enough to get over the hump, or they're not as competitive as they should be, if that's why you're leaving Miami, especially Jimmy Butler, I'm pointing the finger at you, Jimmy Buckets. I'm pointing the finger at you. Because people could sit here and praise this guy for playoff Jimmy. Wait, what do we call him? Is it playoff Jimmy? Was there, I can't remember, was there a nickname for that? Playoff Jimmy Butler version? Playoff Butler? I can't remember. Anyway, if there was a name, let me know in the comment section. But playoff Jimmy. So I look at playoff Jimmy and I'm like, well, I see a problem here. If playoff Jimmy isn't just something like, Jimmy Butler getting hot at the right time, coincidentally, and don't get me wrong, he wasn't playing like that every postseason, every series, ever since he was on Miami. That's what social media might want to tell you, but it hasn't been quite like that. Obviously, his loudest moments are going to resonate with people, and that's what's going to stick in your memory. Let's call it what it is. But if that's just not him catching fire, and he actually has the ability to play at that kind of level any given game, then why aren't you doing it more regularly? That's my problem with this whole playoff Jimmy thing. Playoff Jimmy should just be regular Jimmy. Regular season and postseason. So if you're leaving because you feel like you guys aren't performing well enough, well, Jimmy Butler, if you have that kind of potential and player in you, and you could bring that out every game, and be the clear-cut best player on the team and maybe on the floor, period, then I'm looking at you. I am. Don't show me what you can do, and don't give it to me more consistently. That's like me. Like, I'm a Kobe Bryant guy. I'm a Laker guy. In the 2005-2006 season, that was Kobe Bryant's historic scoring season, right? And the Lakers made the playoffs as the bottom seed in the West. I think they got, 42 wins that season, if I'm not mistaken. I think their record might have been 42-40. Don't quote me on that. But Kobe balled out. He did not have a good team around him. We all know. Lamar Odom wasn't the Lamar Odom you got once Pau Gasol got there. He was shy. He was timid. He couldn't be that guy, right? You had a young Sasa Vujacic. You had Kwame Brown. You had Brian Cook. You had Smush Parker. You had Luke Walton. I think Chris Mim was on that squad. Don't quote me on that. But you get what I'm saying. This was Kobe's running mates. Derek Fisher was not on that squad. Vladimir Radmanovic. Right? Anyway. Kobe balled out just to get those guys, squeak those guys into the playoffs in the Western Conference. He had to do all that to get them there. Now, if Kobe Bryant didn't do all that, and they missed the playoffs, and I know what Kobe Bryant's capable of. I know he's capable of giving me 35 points per game, about 5 rebounds, about 5 assists, and that could be enough to get us in the playoffs. If I know he wasn't doing all that, and we missed the playoffs, I'm looking at Kobe. I am looking at Kobe. You are the all-star. You are the superstar. If you have to ball out every game to drag these guys to the finish line, well, that's just what you have to do. I'm not blaming the role players when I know he's not performing up to his maximum potential. I'm not doing it. I'm looking at Bean Bryant. That's like me looking at that and being okay with that. I would not be okay with that. So Jimmy Butler, if you're truly capable of being this guy, any given game, I'm looking at you. The roster may waver from season to season. Changes happen. Injuries happen. But if you got the ability to shoulder more of a load and pull these guys across the finish line, you got to do that to take them to the next level. Or wade the waters until things get better. But you got to do what you got to do. So I'm definitely looking at Jimmy Butler sideways. If you're mad about what the team's not doing or they're not good enough, and I know that you can play better, and you're not for whatever reason, well, I'm looking at you, Jimmy Butler. I am. Jimmy Butler's never averaged more than 22 points per game in all his seasons with the Miami Heat. But I'm looking at this guy explode, having explosive performances in the playoffs. What are you doing? If you could give me 28 points per game in the regular season, Jimmy, you got to do it. Especially now. The Miami Heat are 21-20. They're sitting in that play-in bracket right now. I do believe they could be outside of that play-in bracket with a guaranteed playoff spot if Jimmy Buckets plays his potential. That's me. That's my take on it. If you ain't putting forth your everything, I don't want to hear it. 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 It's like when I hear people say, man, LaMelo Ball needs to get the hell up out of Charlotte, man. They wasting his talent. No, I love LaMelo Ball, but what kind of mindset is this? What has LaMelo Ball done so far outside of some amazing highlights? And I love the kid. I love how he plays. But what has he done so far to say the Charlotte Hornets need to do better by him? What has he done for that franchise? Has he showed the Nuggets that he can carry them thus far? Has he shown to be that kind of player? Has he been available his career? No. I don't play that. Anyway, that's all I got to say about it. Let me know what you think about it in the comment section. Appreciate y'all for stepping in. Like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell, stay notified, and I'll catch you on the next one. We out, baby.